Today's video where we are going to be looking at solving the area of a trapezoid. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put the formula up that we know is going to work for this. And then we'll talk about why that formula works. So we know the formula is b1 plus b2 over 2 times the height. Okay, now why does this work? Well, let's take a look at this trapezoid for a second. If we have a trapezoid and we were to cut it in half and then flip it. So if we extended that out, we made a parallelogram. Now, how does that work? Because if we're thinking about a parallelogram, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well, wait a second. Won't length times width work on this? And really, I guess technically, yeah, it will. But what we've done here is, if you take a quick look here, we've moved this 8 up to here, and we've moved this 6 down to here. So 8 and 6 have now transferred. So if you take a look at our formula, b1 was 6, and then we've added b2 to it to make this line right here. So that line right there. Now that line doesn't really do much for us when we're looking for area because it's just a single line. We know that we need to have 2 dimensions in order for a formula for area to work. So let's fill in our numbers here. So we've got 6, which was b1. And then we're adding it to b2, which was 8, and we can see that 8 has moved up here. And then we're going to fill in the rest of our formula as if we haven't done anything with it. So now that we have those 2 numbers, let's add them together, because that's what our formula is asking us to do. We have 6 plus 8, which is 14, and then we're going to divide it by 2 times height. Now there is something else that we can do here. We can fill in the rest of this formula. We have 14 divided by 2, we know that is 7, and then we're going to multiply it by height. And height is 5. Now height is important because height gives us our second dimension. So when we are looking at a trapezoid, we don't want to use a diagonal line because diagonal lines are often longer or shorter than the lines above it or below it. So we're going to take and make a 90 degree. We really like 90-degree angles when we're doing types of measurement. So we've got 14 divided by 2, which gives us 7, and then we're going to multiply it by 5, and that gives us our area, which is 35, and then we'll want to use units of measurement. So in this case, I know I didn't put one up there, but let's just call it centimeters squared. And this squared is important because it's telling us that we were using 2 dimensions. We had a dimension here, and then we had a dimension here. So that gives us our squared area. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, well that's interesting, but why did we cut this in half? Why didn't we just use the line, multiply it, and then we have our height attached to it? Well, the reason we cut this in half was because we made this into a parallelogram, and we have to bring it back into a trapezoid. So we have to cut it in half like that in order to return our trapezoid back to its original form. So let's recap here. We've got b1 plus b2 over 2 times height. Side 1, or b1, plus b2, when we move it up and create our parallelogram, gave us a number. Then we take that number and divide it by 2 because we want to split it back in half to give us our original trapezoid. Multiplied by the height gives us our area. So that is area of a trapezoid. If you would like to comment or if you have any questions, please rewatch the video, and thanks for watching.